Hello everyone, finally back with another video. Man of Plastic here, or that was kind of backwards, doesn't matter. It has been a while since my last official review of a figure. The last two videos were kind of like news / update videos, car. So, you know, a little out of practice. But yeah, my last figure review, if I'm not mistaken, was the Kid Buu. I have been waiting very patiently for both this figure and kind of give it a bit of a, I'm going to kind of give it away. It is actually a Moro figure that I've been waiting for. So look forward to that figure review also. It is going to be the B version. I'm not sure how many reviews on YouTube there are of the B version, because I've been trying to look for one. Last time I checked, there weren't too many. But yeah, I'm excited to get that one too. I think the B version looked a lot cooler than the A version, because I think the white fur looks a lot more interesting than the brown one. But I'm sure both of them are really good figures, and well, I'm excited to get that one in hand. It's been in shipping hell for like the past 2 weeks. It was supposed to get here technically like a week ago, but because of the whole copyright thing with the Bandai / Shueisha / SXU Arts, it quite literally was stopped and had to be reshipped. So there's that. But luckily, it's on its way. Cross your fingers. Hopefully nothing else happens, because I actually really want that figure. It looks really cool. Suffice it to say, just hope for the best. But we are finally back with another review, and I'm actually really excited. I know this guy has been released quite literally for just a couple of days now. And a lot of people have a lot of criticism about it. I also have criticism. I will say though, not to give everything away, but I really don't think it's the worst figure out there. Okay? This is all I'm gonna say for now. Because I've heard a lot of the criticism. Some of them are valid for sure. Or actually most of them are valid. But we'll get to that later. Regardless, here's the box. I actually kind of like the box art. The box art looks pretty cool. It looks very clean, very nice. But yeah, guys, look forward to more content. Comment down below what you guys like to see. Someone did request a video over how to lube up the joints on your figures. I will be making that video. To the person that commented, thank you. I believe it was Fade God. Thank you for commenting. I will in fact be making that video. Again, thank you for the request. I realize that never even crossed my mind. So, yes, that will be coming soon. If this video goes up, it should be, the other video should be going up like right after this one. If not, then it will be up shortly after this one, hopefully. But yeah, again, guys, thank you for sticking around. I know it's kind of a long intro, but thank you for sticking around, really. I appreciate it. 100 subscribers, first milestone. That is awesome. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the boxes. Okay, and here are the contents within the boxes themselves. I have got to say, retail, I got this guy for, let's round it off to 70 bucks, because it was really close to 70. Okay, 70. For the price, the accessories you get are pretty good, honestly. I guess some of them you could argue that are kind of not needed, like maybe like the other gi, but that's for other people that, you know, that prefer more articulation / more cuts in the torso on their figures, so there's more movement. However, I think honestly this didn't really have to be included. Let's get on first to what exactly is included with this. So here we have main body, and yes, I did get the one with the purple hue. I actually really, this is a bit of a little smudge there. I actually really like the purple hue body for Goku Black. I get why so many people love the gray one, but I honestly really like this one. I think it gives it a little more character, like a little more, I don't know, without this, I guess, a little more aura But in reality, I really do like this one, honestly, better than the gray one. Of course, to each their own opinions. Don't crucify me in the comments. But suffice it to say, I think this one is pretty good. Okay, for now, that's all I'll say. But regardless, here we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 pairs of hands along with the fist, so that's 7 pairs of hands plus the if I'm not mistaken, this is the instant transmission hand. You get the blade, which is made of a pretty gummy plastic. It's not the softest ever. It's kind of rigid. Like if you poke yourself, it will hurt for sure. Oh, and it fell apart. There we go. And then you get an extra skirt piece, a windy skirt piece. Here we go. Along with, I already showed this, you get another gi and another, what is it called? An obu? Is that called an obu? I can't remember. But another piece for the actual sash itself. You do get, of course, the scythe. And I've heard nightmares about this. Don't worry, that will come up later. And of course, the actual heads themselves. Let me turn the light. Here we go. So, there you go. Here we have, there's a bit of debris on them. Here we have the windy Goku Black head sculpt. The smirking face is on him right now. Here we have the static hair Goku Black head sculpt. And let me turn it, there we go, much better. And here is the rose head sculpt. Now, something I will say, respective to the head sculpts, I know a lot of people say that they could have been better or they're not that good. I think they're actually not bad. I think they're pretty decent. Could they have been better? Yes, for sure. I think the scaling is kind of off in some of the head sculpts. Like this one is definitely smaller than this one by a little, so it's kind of noticeable. The rose head sculpt is a little puffy. It could have been smaller, but I still honestly don't think it's the worst thing ever. A lot of people have been replacing it with a DL Customs head sculpt for Goku Black, the pearlescent one and the matte finish one, which looks really cool. I wish I had that. I really do wish I had that. But sadly, that had already sold out by the time I started collecting. So yeah. For accessories, it is good. It is actually pretty good for what you get. I know this guy in general, the average price right now is probably closer to $80, $90, which is way too much. Like way too much. I think the sweet spot for this would have been like 65 at most, 60 like the absolute minimum. Or the absolute minimum, I think, honestly, should have been like 55. You know, because, you know, new figure, new company, of course, QC, materials used. Like, honestly, I think it could have been the absolute lowest 55. The absolute highest, no more than 70. I got this for around 70, so I can safely say, for me at least, because the price does matter, for me, this is worth it in terms of what you get. Now, a lot of you guys might have an opinion that completely contradicts that because of this guy and his nightmarish stories about QC and all that stuff, which is fine. But, of course, you know, my opinion about this guy, I'm not biased. But I do think this guy is honestly not as bad as some people are saying. But regardless about that, let's actually put him together, and I'll bring him out onto the mat. Okay, and here he is. Now, I think for starters, before I continue with the articulation and messing around with him, to be fair, I have messed around with him before, so I kind of know what to expect. But anything can happen on camera, as we've seen in my Vegeta review, where his arm just falls off. But before I continue, I think what I will start doing is I will start taking individual photos of the faces, all the faces on all the heads, and I will compile them into like a little collage, and just like put them up on the video somewhere here, probably like around here at the top. But I'll do that so you guys can see the faces. I'm not sure. I'll admit, I'm kind of on a time crunch right now, so I might not have time. You guys will see in the end video if I had time or not. But regardless, that's an idea I have, and I can maybe go ahead with it. But regardless, let's actually go. Oh, focus. There we go. Why did it go out of focus? Here we go. So, first impressions for this guy, at least. Aside from the QC, we're ignoring the QC for now, but like visually, he looks really good. The hair being too big, both the rosé one and this one just kind of bother me like a little bit, but it's not the worst thing ever. Like, it is okay. Because I do think the head sculpts are pretty, they're decent enough. Like, they're decent enough. Because they could have been way worse. So, first impressions, this guy looks really good, actually. Like, really good. I think they did focus. What's it not focusing? There we go. I think they did a really good job with actually the aesthetics of it. Looks pretty much directly out from the anime. Like, it looks really accurate. In terms of the manga, I'm not how. Oh, you guys can already hear that already. In terms of the manga, I'm not sure how different it is. How different he looks. But he is very accurate, and I really do like the way he looks. The smudges are kind of getting on my nerves. So, let's go ahead and start with the articulation. So, down. Ooh, that is good. That is actually really good. Not a lot of figures. I don't think which one can't do this? Never mind. I'll ignore that. But this is actually really good. And then go back, looking back. Of course, the neck piece doesn't move back, only the head. Looking back, it's actually not bad. Head movement is pretty good. There you go. And then in terms of arm, because like I said before, or to mention, this gi is soft rubber. It is actually very soft. Like, it's not, like, it's actually very soft. So a lot of people were concerned with, the articulation of this guy, because especially with this part, instead of the other gi, which has like the games begin cut. As you can see right there, there's a bit of context for that. We'll talk about that later in my final thoughts. But so, articulation wise, here we go. You can turn the shoulder. It is a little cumbersome, I will say, having to turn the actual shoulder part when it's inside this gi. But regardless, move on. Okay. You see, look, like, it's actually not bad. The articulation in the arms, the shoulders specifically, is actually pretty decent. Especially, even with this gi on. Even with the gi on. Yeah, it's pretty good. I will say, though, I don't know why it's not... Okay, doesn't matter. So, arm articulation for the shoulders, pretty good. Can obviously go 360. Not straight completely, but you have to kind of, twist the shoulder a little bit. Oh, there we go. Okay. Here we go. Bicep rotation. Completely fine. No squeaking, no nothing. The right arm. Yeah. Yeah, the bicep on mine on the right arm is kind of tight. It's not the worst thing ever. They can definitely still move. I'm just a little weary about it because, squeaking on a figure scares me. I've heard horror stories of squeaking on a figure. One move and it's like kaput and just completely breaks. So that always scares me. However, it's not that bad. It can still more than move around pretty freely. Elbow articulation. Pretty good, past 90. Again, on the left arm, past 90. The hands, I think most figures have actually pretty soft rubber hands, but these are really soft. Not the fist specifically because it's just like one piece, but the other hands are actually very soft. The wrists are very smooth. They don't seem to be loose, but they're pretty good. The wrist pegs seem to also be of pretty decent quality, if I'm not mistaken. pop on pretty easy. For the arms and torso. This is not on the Games Begin gi. There's a car passing by. So the articulation will be more limited. However, I was actually very surprised with this. Here we go. It's actually not bad. It's actually not bad. He can crunch a good amount. And that's not using the legs or anything. He can crunch a good amount. And then back. Can go back also a pretty decent amount. So even with the gi that a lot of people thought would hinder his articulation really badly, it's actually not bad. Like, I think they did a pretty good job with the gi. You know, credit where credit is due. They did a good job with the gi. So it's actually very malleable. Like, I'm pressing it, it's actually conforming to my fingers. They did a good job with the gi. It is very soft, so it doesn't hinder the articulation the worst way possible. It's still good. Still good articulation. Of course, the skirt is even the same material, so it's really soft. You can bend it, you can, you know, sort of stuff. However, I will say, be careful, because there is a cut here. And where is the cut? There is a piece where it joins. And rubber can rip. I will say that rubber can rip. So just be careful with the gi. With any figure, honestly, that has soft rubber like overlays, always be careful with that. So let me do this to show the legs. Yes. The legs, standard 3.0 legs, actually, there's a brand new sculpt for Goku Black, if I'm not mistaken, for legs. They used, I'm pretty sure, is this, yes. Sorry, having seven pets can be kind of, they're bound to interrupt the video. So, regardless, this is actually a very soft rubber piece, so the legs aren't hindered at all. Can do the splits actually very, very easily. That's really good split range. Legs and knees, the bend is pretty good. It is hindered because of the way the pants are sculpted. You know, they're baggy, more baggy, but still pretty good range. It's pretty decent for the sculpt itself. And then sadly there's no legendary Super Saiyan hinge on these. So really, realistically speaking, they only go front and back like that. You can't really push them, and they'll shift more into place for more range. No legendary Super Saiyan peg. However, these do have pretty good swivel actually. Although I kind of have to get the joint into place. But I mean, ankle articulation is decent. It could have been a lot better because, you know, you have all this free space, you know. You have all this free space, you know, there's nothing really hindering it. Except the actual, like, I guess the cuff around here. But it's not bad, you know. It's ankle articulation. It's not the most needed thing, but it would have been pretty good if there was more of it. And then the toe. Here we go. Not bad. Not bad. Okay. And here I have the two other head sculpts. Real quickly, just gonna head swap them. You will see them regardless in the posing segment, because there's a really cool transition I want to do in there. But regardless, here he is. Take off the head. Taking off the head, I appreciate the fact that it's so easy. Some figures just cannot for the life of them get other head sculpts on easy at all for some reason. But here we go. That's the windswept hair. This, if you guys know Sparkist, go follow him, by the way. He tends to get figures pretty early, so it's actually like a really good source of figure reviews, because he's pretty much the person that gets the most first impressions. But so, he mentioned himself that he kind of thinks this looks like Ultra Instinct, and I actually kind of agree. I don't think it looks bad. I just think it looks a little odd with the way it's sculpted. Because it's not bad. It just does kind of look more like Ultra Instinct more than like a windswept hair. But I mean, hey, maybe someone can make a custom Ultra Instinct head out of this one. What is squeaking? Oh yeah, the neck is squeaking a little. Hopefully it didn't get tight. I don't think so. Hopefully that's not an issue. Okay, that's enough. This head sculpt. Let's go ahead and put the rosé one on. And this is the one I'm gonna keep on him for the rest of the review. And here we go. I really don't think that looks bad. I think that looks pretty good actually. The biggest issue is just the way the hair is sculpted. But overall, this doesn't look bad. It doesn't look too big on the body, but you can kind of notice it, honestly. It's not the worst thing ever, but I do agree they should have changed that for sure. Like, they really should have. But regardless, that is it for the articulation. And now to talk about this guy. Oof. So, and for starters, again, I'm not trying to discredit anyone's own personal experiences with this figure. However, I will say, I think this figure is actually not that bad. It's not the worst thing ever. We've definitely had figures where like everything falls apart completely. The Games Begin Goku, I think, is kind of a good example. For that guy, there was an issue with like the face plates with the hair, like the hair peg is not, working properly. Like arms falling and breaking. What else? You also had the legs completely loose. They could not stand for the life of them. So I think that release was probably a little worse than this one. However, I'm not going to say it's a perfect release. It's really not. It's really not. However, I really do like this figure, to be completely honest. I'm not biased because, sadly, I forgot to mention, I bought one. This is from Aliexpress for like $70. However, technically I find it cheaper. I found it for like $65. So it's actually kind of a sweet spot, kind of a sweet spot. From Hobbymodelstore. I'll put links in the description if this still has them available and stuff. If it's not, then it might be due to copyright. But I had to order one from Hobbymodelstore, and I was like, it's taking a while to ship. So I chose to get this one to get it in sooner for the review. He's not standing. There we go. For the review, and it turns out the other guy still shipped. To be fair, I think it's just because like I put in the cancellation like too late. So I'm getting a second one, which is honestly fine. I don't mind getting a second one of these, but it is kind of funny. There's a bit of glitter on him. But yeah, so I will be receiving a second one actually. Okay, but a little off topic. To continue talking about this guy. So, overall, I think the rating for this figure, like out of 10, for example, I can say no greater than a 7, but no lower than like a 6.8. He's not the best figure out there because the issues he has, honestly, it's not even the fact that they're bad, it's the fact that they can vary. My figure, luckily, the biggest problem, the bicep actually isn't even a problem because it still moves. Like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just kind of tight. So when you swivel it, it's a little squeaky. But on my figure, luckily, the only thing I have QC-wise that is pretty negative is just the fact that the legs are kind of loose. But that's it. Like everything else seems to be pretty good. Oh, and actually, let me get this over here. This thing. I don't know what we're thinking with this thing. I don't even mind the fact that it's red. I think it still looks cool. I don't even mind the fact that it's red. Would I have wanted it to be pink? Yes, for sure. This thing is an issue because, let me bring an example for you guys so you can see, just because I want you guys to be careful when you get this figure if you're wanting to get him. This thing, not completely, focus. It tinted it red. I'm not sure if it's coming across on camera that well. but it tinted this hand red. Now, is that it's not the biggest issue ever, but that is a problem. That is actually kind of a big problem, because that means that the paint is rubbing off from the scythe. The keyblade is completely fine. It's made of like a completely just it's a dyed like rubber resin material, so that's not gonna rub off anything at all. But this is painted, right? I don't think it was so much the fact that the paint is coming off. I think it was just residual paint, and they just didn't clean it. So, warning, I advise you guys, if you're gonna use this on this guy, please wipe it down with a napkin first. It doesn't have to be wet, but just like wipe it down as much as possible to get literally all of the paint off. Well, not the actual paint, but like the excess paint. Like, try to get that off as much as possible, and you guys will be fine. That's what I did. As soon as I saw that the hand was dyed, I was like, okay, that has to be the scythe. So I got a napkin, I started wiping it down, and that was the end of that. So, the QC, for me, I guess overall, is the scythe, which I think is pretty universal, and the loose legs, which varies on figure to figure. Do I think this figure is worth getting? It's a hesitant yes, but that's if you don't mind fixing a couple of things yourself. I really don't mind that. Like, if it's like a really bad fix, then no, then for sure no. But most of the fixes seem to be pretty manageable, to be completely honest. Now, for the price you're paying for a figure like this, yes, the accessories are enough. Yes, the figure actually looks really good. You get what you pay for. But do people expect... There's a little speck on this head sculpt. It's kind of bothering me. There we go. But do people expect good quality for a price like that? Yes. Should we get it? Also, yes. Now, of course, I understand sometimes things don't go completely right, figure to figure. Like, every release has the potential to be quite literally like the worst release ever. It just depends on how things go for the factory, for the company making the figure, etc. So again, this is... Do I recommend buying this? I don't recommend it. But do I think it's worthy of a purchase? Again, kind of hesitant to say, but yes it is. This is a brand new Goku Black, brand new sculpt. It does take inspiration, if I'm not mistaken, from the Daima Goku the Daima Goku, if I'm not mistaken. He's slimmer, like Goku Black is supposed to. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment my microphone died, so forgive me while I record video that does not match, record audio that does not match the video at all. It's a pretty big goof on my part, so apologies. But overall, what I was going to say with the rest of the video before the posing segment was that I do think this is not really a bad figure. I just think it could have been better. But overall, I think if you buy this, I do think you will be satisfied with it. He looks amazing. It's an amazing looking figure, but the QC does vary, from figure to figure. So it is a bit of a gamble. For those of you that like gambling though, wouldn't hurt to try. All jokes aside, I do think this figure is actually fairly worth it. He's a decent purchase. I don't think you'd regret it, and I think that's the most important part. I think being satisfied with the purchase is what matters the most. But overall, I think this figure is pretty decent. It's pretty decent, honestly, to be fair. Again, sorry about the goof. But guys, thank you for 100 subscribers. Like, subscribe, comment, whatever. I'm open to discussions, even requesting videos. If I can fulfill those requests, I'd be happy to. But again, thank you guys for all the support, and I will see you guys later.
I'll deal with you personally. That won't work on me. Well, what do you think of this color? You shall now feel the full brunt of a god's anger. Or perhaps it's the infinite rage that lies within myself.